Welcome to the Right Move podcast. I'm your co-host, Steve Greenberg, and I'm joined by
Pamela Baffin, Oak Realty.
Yes, and we have a special guest today, Lauren Crowley of Sub-Zero Ice Cream. And welcome, Lauren.
Thanks. I love being a special guest.
Yes.
That's special.
Well, it's great to have you here. And the purpose of this few moments we're going to take together is to hear about you and to hear about your business. So if you would, can you introduce yourself to our audience?
Yeah, my name is Lauren Crowley. I moved to Ashland about a year ago and started building a business in Ashland about a year ago. We've been working with Steve since we found the space, and the funny story is we closed on our house 48 hours before we confirmed with Steve that we got the lease. So we went all in on Ashland real fast. But especially after the last year, it's really proven to be the right move. That wasn't planted, but it feels like it should have been.
Thank you for saying that.
Yeah, you're welcome. So I'm starting the Sub-Zero ice cream business with my husband, Dan Crowley. We actually met the brand. This is a franchise. It started out in Provo, Utah. But we met them at our wedding. I typically say we fell in love with the brand at where we fell in love at our wedding, right? Love was already in the air. But we were a COVID couple, and so we had to cancel our resort wedding in the mountains that was supposed to be kind of all turnkey and done for us. Instead, we did a completely DIY wedding at Hale Reservation in Westwood, just in a big old field. And one of the things that we found was Sub-Zero to do like a fun ice cream dessert that was interactive and with the liquid nitrogen, and they didn't need any electricity, so they were perfect fit for our field. And at the time, with the pandemic in the full swing, like I was looking for a career move with my background in marketing. And this just seemed kind of like the right thing to do. So I've been working with the franchise to build the business now in Ashland, but I've also been working with the brand on their marketing, which is where my background is in demand generation, marketing, and sales. So working on the brand level, working on the store level as kind of a franchisee has been really great over the past year. And we're getting really excited that we're close to actually opening our operations here.
That's great. People love ice cream. Why will they love Sub-Zero ice cream?
Because it's not like any ice cream that you've ever had before. I always joke, we are an ice cream store that doesn't actually carry any ice cream. We don't have any ice cream until you order it, which is one of the reasons that we love the concept of it is the freshest ice cream that you can get, because when you order it, it hasn't even been frozen yet. So you can start from any base, whether it's your standard ice cream base, if you like frozen yogurt or custard, if you have allergies and you need to do lactose-free or almond milk, or we can do something vegan or keto for you. And then you can pick any of our custom flavors, combine them in any way that you want. Any of your mix-ins into it, and then in about 7 to 15 seconds, we use liquid nitrogen to actually hyper-boil is what it's doing, because liquid nitrogen actually boils at negative 321 degrees Fahrenheit. So as soon as it hits the air, it's boiling, and it's actually sucking the heat right out of the ice cream, or right out of the cream to become ice cream. Yeah, and so that's what's so cool about it. It's completely custom to you. My favorite story is I had this one little girl. She ordered white chocolate ice cream with gummy bears, Kit Kats, and Reese's Pieces. Like, where can you find that, right? You know? And so you really get to be like a kid in the candy store, and it's created just for you, and you get to be a part of the whole process. So it really is a different kind of experience.
So one thing I didn't realize was that, because I've had too many people compare it to Dippin' Dots.
Sure.
When I was trying to explain who you are and what it's all about. This is actually this beautiful presentation of ice cream when you're done with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a gorgeous, typical old-fashioned looking ice cream, unless you put Reese's Pieces and gummy bears in it.
Right.
But it is not a pre-made or a pre-packaged or a pre-anything.
No.
It goes on and...
quite the opposite, right?
The opposite, which is nice, because I was picturing, and a few people said to me they were picturing more of a convenience store type of product, and that is not what comes out of there.
No, it's fresh, frozen, just for you.
Which is fantastic. Your location, good job, Steve, is terrific.
Yes, we're so excited. Right in the center of town, next to Town Hall, next to Nick's Pizza, and I mean, pizza and ice cream. It's a match made in heaven, right? So it was a really great find. It was definitely a diamond in the rough, because it was an office building before we got there. So we had to kind of use our vision, but we're definitely getting there, and I think it's going to be a great fit for sure.
And the the construction that's gone on down in 126 will be to your benefit because the sidewalks are going to work out for you, and the whole thing. I think I'm not as familiar with Sub-Zero as I should be. I just did my quick little research.
Fair enough.
Who are normally? I'm picturing every school kid in town heading there after school.
Sure.
But who is normally the target audience? Is it just any and all, or do most of these towns draw like a younger crowd? What is it?
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things that, Steve said, everybody loves ice cream, right? Ice cream, you scream, we all scream. And I think that is, again, one of the things that we really loved is ice cream is one of those things that makes you feel like a kid again.
Yeah.
So even though, yes, like we love and we'll see a lot of the kids after school, weekends, out with their families. But we also get, it's the date nights. And now, especially people are looking for alternatives, right? Like it's the era of the mocktails and people are looking for something other to do on dates. And so, and again, with this experience, right, I think it's really custom and something it's fun to do. It's not just like, let's go get a scoop. It's like, let's go create an ice cream and see our science project, right? So
And see if you're my future husband, depending on what you choose to put in your ice cream.
right? Like, what is our match made in heaven? What is our flavor profiles? It's like the new love language with my flavor profile. So yeah, we do. And that's the cool thing, right? Like,
Right.
yes, definitely kids and families, but also the adults that want to feel like kids again, right? And have those moments. But one of the other things that we love with the kids specifically is we also do STEM programs because again, something that's really different about our ice cream concept is we're using liquid nitrogen and so it's a lot of based in the science concept. Actually, our co-founders, Jerry and Naomi Hancock, Jerry is a chemist by trade and Naomi is a teacher by trade.
Oh, that's perfect.
So they came together and Jerry came up with all of the concepts and the chemistry and the science behind it. And then Naomi actually turned that into a curriculum. So we also can go out and do STEM presentations, which you get a little bit of in the store as we're explaining to you, like liquid is actually boiling at negative 321 degrees Fahrenheit. But we actually have a whole STEM program that we can go out into middle schools and show them the concepts of liquid nitrogen and science. And then everybody ends up with ice cream at the end. So, right.
Perfect.
I call it edutainment, right? It's education, but it's also entertaining and everybody gets a snack. So yeah, it's
Love
for
that.
kids and adults alike for sure.
What do you what are the hours and what do you need for staffing? Can the two of you handle it, or
Oh no, we're definitely going to need a lot of hands, which is another cool thing. I think a lot of folks have ice cream scooper on their resume somewhere, whether it was a summer job, and that's something that will stay true to us. Like a lot of people think, oh, it's liquid nitrogen, like you need all of this special training and equipment, and to some degree you do. But I mean, the environment around us is 78% nitrogen of what we're breathing in, right? Like it is actually very safe, and with the proper training. So like we're gonna have those same high school scoopers, but they're gonna be our cool chemists. And so we'll be open probably from noon, midday to get ready for that after school rush in the 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock hour. And then, be open till 9, 10 o'clock, depending like weekdays, weekends for that after dinner, dessert treatment. But yeah, so my husband and I'll be there full time as much as possible, but we'll definitely be bringing on staff members to help us out for sure.
she's forgetting the fact that full time also includes a 7-month-old, which she is handling with ease.
Yes,
You gave
so
birth to a
easy.
child and a company all at the same time,
Yeah,
which will go great. But at least we know what he's doing for work.
exactly. Yeah, he's
12,
already got his
13,
first job baked,
right.
baked or frozen right in our case, right?
Lauren, you talked about the chemistry. What's the chemistry involved in the flavoring offerings? How many flavoring offerings do you intend to have?
Yeah, so we have 42 proprietary flavors that were developed specifically for Sub-Zero. And the cool part about that is that doesn't mean that we have 42 flavors. You can mix those however you want. So I say a lot of the times, like, oh, if you wanted like a chocolate and strawberry at your standard ice cream store, you'd get a scoop of chocolate, a scoop of strawberry. We can actually put those together in the same ice cream.
God,
So
it
it's
becomes
like
like a math lesson. here.
Yes,
Like
exactly.
to the power of.
Technically, I think there's a trillion different combinations between the bases,
that all?
the flavors, and the mix-ins, depending on how you put it together.
blast.
And so we do have some custom sensations, we call them, that are pre-built. So if you're just like, some tried and true, what works, we have those for you. And again, you could just get plain vanilla. You know, you want some rum raisin Rocky Road, we can do that for you. Or if you want white chocolate bubblegum Reese Kit Kat, we also got that for you. So
Delicious.
yeah, so the flavors are custom to us, but how you mix them, match them, that's custom to you.
Okay. And if I understand correctly from our conversations in the past, it's not going to be just on site. Parties, maybe you can expand upon that a little bit for us?
Yeah.
And cakes I saw too.
Yeah. So like I said, we actually met them at our wedding. So we'd hired them to come cater the event. So we picked like a his and hers ice cream combination. So whether you want to pick some like pre-done, like pre-selected options, or if you wanted to do like a build your own sundae bar, and we could bring a bunch of flavors and a bunch of toppings, kind of more traditional, sundae bar. That's the cool thing about this concept is it's mobile. It doesn't need electricity. We just need a 6 foot, like I could, with my nitrogen tank and a cooler of cream, right? I could be making ice cream right here for you guys. And in a couple of weeks when we have that all set up, I'd love to come back and do
Okay,
it
we'd love
for
to
you,
have
right?
you.
Oh my gosh, that would be fun.
We'll prove the concept, right? So yeah, we can do catering, corporate events, parties, and we also do ice cream cakes, ice cream pies, which we have some custom or some standard flavors, or we can customize it completely to your liking. So the same way that you can do that for your ice cream, you can do it for your cakes and pies or your catering and events.
Yeah.
Is a big part of the science, the way I understand it, the smaller the ice crystal, the creamier the product. And maybe you can expand on that, because I'm somebody who was very fortunate to have lost a fortune in the ice cream business back in the 70s.
Yeah, so there's a concept in ice cream called overflow, which is how much air is in the ice cream. And the air in the ice,
Where the money is. It's in the air.
yeah, typically, because if there's more air, it looks bigger, right? But also air that it gets trapped in there, and that's where the ice crystals form. And so when you get that kind of gritty texture, like freezer burn, right? Like that is air that's getting frozen up. And that's why your ice cream melts so fast, because those pockets of air inside your ice cream are actually heating up from the inside out and melting your ice cream, right? But with the liquid nitrogen, and because it's freezing so fast, there's not even any time for those ice crystals or those air pockets to form. So you're getting a really dense, creamy, premium ice cream. And so even if it is just you're going to get just vanilla, it's going to be that dense, creamy flavor that is probably going to be more flavorful than another vanilla ice cream that you would get, because it doesn't have those air pockets, because it doesn't have those ice crystals, because the nitrogen is flash freezing it so fast.
I'm
Nice.
hungry. Why are you doing this?
I know, next time I'm bringing snacks.
So folks might have some concern, the fact that it is downtown.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been a big fan of what Ashland needs is a parking problem downtown. So how will folks get around the potential of finding a place to park when they pull up to Sub-Zero?
Yeah, that's actually one of the things that we talked about at first. We're also fortunate to be right next to Town Hall, and there's that Town Hall public parking lot. And so at first there was this concern of like, how are we going to share this parking lot? And then we realized, well, Town Hall and
Isn't open when you are.
it's during the day, right? Monday through Friday. And our busy hours are nights and weekends. So actually that parking lot, we're going to hope to drive people in there, right? As the Town Hall folks are leaving for the day, we're like, come on in, get your ice cream after dinner. And if you're going to go to John Stone's and walk down, right? Like right
For
there
dessert.
for dessert. With the sidewalks and all of that stuff, right? That construction that we were just talking about. So that's the hope, is that it actually ends up working out really well, because we're in the opposite hours of Town Hall from that parking lot, public parking lot right
Perfect.
there. Yeah.
Oh, that is perfect. I hadn't even thought of that. And there's enough street parking too, that if it's
You can find a space.
You can find a
If you want a good product, you'll find a way to get
find a
there.
way to get there.
Yeah. And your opening timeline?
By the end of the month. We'll definitely be open by the holiday stroll that first weekend of December. We've got but our big construction is done. We were just putting together our counters. That's where I came from this morning. So within the next couple of weeks, we're hoping to be able to welcome you guys, welcome the town, and have a big party.
And Holiday Stroll is going to be a blast.
We
that
are
will
so
be-
excited.
Which will be terrific. Oak Realty will be at the Santa Shed meeting Santa. And I certainly hope that anyone that is out there right now, while we're in November of 2023, will consider coming down to Holiday Stroll. You'll be
Absolutely.
open,
That's
in
the
the
plan.
shop.
Yep.
and that's where they need to go right after.
Yep. Right next to right near the corner spot.
Right next to the corner spot.
Yeah.
So we're going to have a blast. We also have a friend listening in on us today. So if you need any insurance products, certainly you can walk right across the street. Dennis Ahern will take care of you. But aside from that, anything we need to know before we wrap up?
You know, we were talking about the science, the audience, right? But what the coolest thing about this concept is, even though it is a national franchise, like, we really do get to be a local brand. So we are really excited to get to be a part of this community. We've already been working with other business owners, other restaurateurs in the area, and just the Ashland community has already welcomed us. So we're really excited to be able to finally open our doors and kind of give back to that community. So we're really excited to really truly, you know, this is, even though this is a big brand, you might have seen us on Shark Tank and that you've seen other stores around, but we live here in Ashland. We now work here in Ashland, and we're really an Ashland business. So we're excited to join the family.
We're genuinely excited to have you. It's going to be great for it's going to be great for you, and it's going to be great for the town.
Yeah,
It
we're
really
pumped.
is.
We're so
Right.
pumped.
Well, thanks so much for joining us today, and we look forward to your success.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.